Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Let me check the chat. All right. Let's see who's on. What's going on, Bill? Bill's first on. Man, Bill has been all over it lately. Good to see you, Bill. Good to see you, Vicky. Dave P. All right, we'll have to do some Dave's leaving on a plane this morning. Everybody say hey to, well, you guys are already telling each other hello. Good to see you. Vicky, good to see you, Queen Vic. And Dad, good to see you, T-Man. All right, so a couple things we're going to do. This is a Chord Academy lesson, but we're going to do what we always do is, even though you have these chords, it's good to practice playing your left-hand voicings as well. And we're also going to do this over the Shock to the System blues. I'll tell you what's a shock is how many people who are not Chord Academy members or not members of anything have requested to get the Shock to the System blues. It's quite hilarious, but that just shows me that you guys are enjoying this kind of stuff. So a couple of things. What's nice about the Shock to the System is this little lick, it's not a lick, it just as the tonality changes and it goes up a half step, E flat, A flat, and then D minor. So it's going up a half step, so you could play anything related to E flat minor to A flat 7 and then go back down to D. But we're going to stick to this as our restrictive practice. Anytime we get to that, we're going to do that, and then what we do otherwise, we can play the song as is. And then I want to also go over this idea of this 5-6 root and minor third and of course the sixth. It's such a nice thing to do is to have that minor third to major third and minor third down to the second note and the sixth note. Okay, now let me say hello again, and then I want to show you one other tip idea before we go, something else I'm thinking. What's up? Hey, good to see you. Memphis, I've been seeing Memphis on late at night. Good to see you and enjoying doing the Memphis. And also, I see Vance is on. Vance, good to see you. Vance, I love your compositions that you've been sending to me and your adaptations of our songs. So keep going. And I love you sent me 2 songs. I love your soul version of which one was it? Was it Your Song? Yeah, it's your song. And also the other song that you put in, I think for your musical, I think that sounds amazing. All right, let's dig in. So again, this first idea of blues scale. You have your minor blues scale, but an Oscar Peterson type blues scale, he would do this a lot, the 6th note instead of the flat 7. Now he would do both, but this is a very common thing to do the first 4 notes. Oh, gumbo blues. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Vance loves the gumbo blues. I agree with you. But yeah, what you did with that was amazing. Way better than what I did. I would say this idea of the first 5 notes of the blues scale and then the 6th note, the A. And I'm mentioning that to you because that is a blues scale that you want to practice as well. And we love this idea of the 6th note where you go ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, or the first 4 notes of the A blues scale. All right, let's turn on the track and play this Shock to the System blues, and then we'll improvise with these ideas. So you have this starting on the flat 7, and then it settles down, tritone, 6th note again, flat 7, right here. Let's do it one more time. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now I'm just going to hit the C for a second. Very simple. Now I'm going to do C down to A and G. up to the E flat, right? How about first 4 notes of the A? Let's do that blues scale. Let's do the minor blues scale. All right, let's stop it for a second. I want to give you guys a couple more practice tips that I think are really going to help. Let me check on you guys. Okay, so a couple things you probably noticed. Playing very simple, right? We have this idea of the root, the 5, the 6, and the 5, right? We're practicing some blues scale, so getting some reps in there. We did the C blues scale with the 6th. We also did the C blues scale with the minor 7. Those are really important. And also, I want you to know that I was doing this. And you go ba-da-ba-ba, and you could go ba-da-da-dee-da-da-da. So I could put that with this idea of the pentatonic scale, the first 4 notes. But one thing that I did that I love this sound. So this idea, it's a second inversion triad, my favorite triad, but I love going 5 root 3rd. See what I did there? I went minor when it goes to the F7. And there I did this idea of the enclosure around the 3rd. If you like that, put that in the chat. So we have then you could go to Vance. Yeah, pretty cool, right? It's 5 root 3rd 4th, and there's something really, really nice about the 4th note going down to the 3rd. I could go. There's my C triad, and I go minor. We can almost do a little Memphis there, right? Let's do this as a nice exercise. I think I should write this one out. We're gonna go. And we'll go scale on purpose. E flat. with music and see how that feels. And we're going to talk about the voicings again in just a few minutes. So we're going to go. Actually, I did that wrong. I was supposed to start on the fourth. Yeah, I think I like that as an exercise. And then another thing you can do is with the second inversion triad, we have bo-da-da, bo-da-da, whenever it gets to the F7. And I'm tempted to show you this next thing. Is we've been talking about diminished yesterday. We talked about how whenever you guys are in C and you go to the 5 chord, right? Yesterday we were talking about the diminished. Like you can always play a diminished chord a half step up from your dominant chord. So G up a half step and play these 4 notes. And they repeat the same notes. A flat, B, D, F becomes B, D. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because there's a really fun thing you can do on dominant chords on the blues, but especially a jazz blues, but it really sounds good over the 4 chords. So if I go and then I went F, and I could go. So if F is my chord, my dominant chord up a half step is going to be F sharp, A, C, E flat, A, C, E flat, F sharp, C, E flat, right? So I'm using the same notes. So I could go. Now here we go. Or. So I said you can go up a half step from your dominant chord and you can play F sharp diminished scale, which is a chord which is the same chord as an A diminished chord, which is the same notes, same 4 notes as a C diminished chord, which are the same notes as the E flat diminished chord. Isn't that cool that for an F sharp, you know that you're going to be able to use an A diminished chord, C diminished, F sharp diminished, or E flat diminished. All those are going to work. Let me check the chat, make sure I don't leave you guys. Yeah, that's funny. Like Uptown Memphis. All right, let's turn on the chat and let me know if you guys are resonating with this little new blues that we're gonna do. This will be our next no-name blues for whoever is our next student. A diminished. Blues scale. Scale. Again. right, I think I have an idea. So Rick, had to work this week, and so I've been catching him on some later streams. And Rick he's the Gandalf of iMusicAcademy, and I was just thinking, Rick doesn't have a blues, right? Right in the middle of that, I was thinking Rick does not have a blues. So we're going to do Rick's Blues. This is going to be Rick's Blues. Rick has been saying that he likes the diminished stuff we've been doing. So let's do this. Let's make this Rick's Blues. We're going to go. It's kind of exercise-ish in some ways, but at the same time, I love it. So we're going to start on the 4th instead of. We're going to start here on the 4th. Then you go to kind of the minor pentatonic, and here a little nod to Memphis. And then we're going to go, and then, actually, no, we need to go to the 4 chords. We're going to go diminished, right here. Right here, we're going to go, so we'll go A diminished, which is the same as F sharp diminished. Remember this concept. This week, I said we were going to be talking about that, and we are going to be continue to talk about the diminished, but know that it's a process. Yesterday, we spent a ton of time going, okay, if you're on G, you go up a half step, and you build this diminished chord. Same 4 notes. I even did a little training, a 5-minute training on the YouTube channel. And Anthony was asking, what's up, Anthony? Good to see you. I'm going to start doing those. I'm going to do 5-minute lessons with Bob, so start paying attention to those. In addition to going live like I do, I'm going to do a bunch of shorter lessons for you guys. So you have G, A flat, and I do a diminished chord. Same thing on F. What's a half step up from F? F sharp. Those 4 notes you can do a diminished chord. It's going to sound amazing over the blues. And when on a jazz blues, you play F, and then you play, so it's F, and then the bass player goes up a half step, but you still are doing an A diminished over that, and it's going to sound fantastic. Okay, so let's do Rick's Blues. Rick doesn't even know he has a blues yet. 1, 2, ready, go. And we'll do the scale. Let's try that again. Let's kind of work it. All right, let's go simple. Here we go. Rick's Blues. What do you guys think? Is that too difficult? So let me stop that. You can always go. I started to go down a rabbit hole, but I'm not going to do that. Whenever you go to the 1 chord, technically you could use up a half step there. When you go to the 4 chord, you can use a half step F sharp. And same thing when you get to the A chord, you can technically go up a half step like we did yesterday and do it diminished each time. But we're just going to focus on Rick's Blues, which has on your F, you can play this really cool diminished chord right here. And I like to keep it simple. At the top, we'll go, and I'm doing 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4. So triplet, 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we'll do the scale. I like that. And what that's teaching you is on E flat Dorian, it's all these black notes here with a couple with your white note on C, and I turn it around. And then we go to G, we go back to the D Dorian, which this is really important right here, is this 5-note scale. All right, let me check the chat, and then we'll, we have, let's see, we're doing great on time. We have about 9 more minutes left in this stream. Okay, so Anthony says, how do you always remember those lines? If I play something new, I have to play it again and again. Yeah, that's, Anthony, I think that's just repetition. Yep, Vicky says practice, repetition. Yes, but isn't this something new? Something new blues lines. Yeah, but Dave said his mind is exploding. It's so the thing is Anthony, this is a great point, is when you come up with something that's memorable, it's I don't want to say it's pattern based, but like there's something that you really like. There's something like this to me is very memorable, right? Boop, ba-da-da-bum. It's easy to sing, it's easy to think. So anyone can get this in any key. Boop, ba-da-da-bum. And right, it doesn't matter. So then you go to F, and that other line that I just did is going to be memorable as well, right? Boom, ba-da-da-bum, ba-da-da-da-da-da. So I'm just thinking of that. So really, even though our mind is thinking that, we're also we're thinking of that descending line, right? It's just a natural thing, and we go. Boom, da, 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 bang. One more time. So on Rick's blues, that's a great question. Let's talk about it, Anthony, and then you're going to really understand it. This idea of this coming right out of the triad, like this is the idea we call the Memphis when you do this. We also call it Memphis when you go da 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 da. Call them that the Memphis, and we also call that the Memphis. But what's important about that is, Anthony, this, even going up to this, I told you guys I like this sound. And you could go and when you go to the F, you have to be there. So this is a familiar pattern. Just like this is a familiar pattern. And I added the Memphis there. But instead of this, we're starting. And I decided, rather than being really busy there, we go. I like how simple that is. Now here we go. All right, now, Anthony, that's what this is about. It's sort of a pattern. Is the Memphis a style, a scale, a technique pattern? Yeah. So what I think most people know what that it means, but I have to make sure I jump back and say, if you're watching and you have no idea what the Memphis is, we have nicknames for all of our students. Anyone who is a member of an academy, I write blues songs for you, and then everybody knows them, and everybody knows the Memphis. We have blues licks that are Memphis licks, and just from one song that we write out. And so and then you have all these ideas. So when I say the Memphis, it could be this. And you can do it in any key. So and the idea is you learn how to start on different notes and things like that. But we love these little phrases, and same thing that goes whenever you're playing something like this. You memorize that shape, right? Is this a Chord Academy class? Yes, it is, actually, George. George, I know that yesterday I did more of a Chord Academy lesson, and I think since you were included on that yesterday, we talked a lot about the drop 2, right? We spent a lot of time doing that. But we also talked about the diminished, which is going up a half step of whatever your dominant chord. And I thought we would talk more about we would get the diminished in there, but more about the music side of things rather than doing 2 diminished classes in a row. So yes, this is a Chord Academy lesson, and we're using our jazz chords. But another important thing, George, is the Shock to the System Blues has been really popular on the channel. And so a lot of people say, hey, I want that PDF or whatever. And so the thing that's nice about it is it goes up the half step. It goes up, which is a really common technique, to go up to E flat, A flat, 7, and then you go 2, 5, and D. So it's like E flat minor, A flat. It's a very common technique. And now we have a Rick's Blues on that. So you go da 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 bum ba da 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 bum ba da 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 da. And now here we're going to just do a diminished. And right here we're going to go. And that is melody, even though that's a scale, it's a Dorian scale. I'm thinking ba da 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 da. And then just to show you, like, even though that's melody, like I'm thinking melody there, I also think of stuff like this where you go. I'm thinking we could just stop there, but I also think of like the Dean lick where you go, you could just extend it a little more. You could go. Kind of like that. All right, George, always good to see you. George has been very active in the chat, and that's awesome. I love that when you guys chime in. Let's do this a couple more times, and then I'm gonna write out the Rick blues. Little space. Again. Again. All right, now what I did right there is I did the Dean thing at the end. I went, what did I? That's what I did for Dean. No. I might have to add that in. That might be too busy. I'll let you guys vote. Should we add that at the end? And I'm definitely thinking always thinking melody, like where can you go that's going to make it resolve and sound really, really nice. A lot of times those are really nice chord tones. So we have. Let me check one thing before we do. All right, so Bill says yes. Let me stop this. I need to check one thing. If Bill says yes, I might have to do it. If you guys can agree that we can add the Dean with that little thing at the end. So. Here we go. 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. I am also thinking instead of this, I'm thinking about. So to stop at the third, I'm not sure. One more time. I like that. Is that too hard? No. Let's see what you guys say. Bill's cool with it. Dave seems to be. Dave, be sure to include a really good backing track. The diminished sound so good. Awesome. You don't get the E flat scale run. What don't you get about it? We'll keep it simple. I keep changing it every time, but we could do the scale. We could just go. So I'm. What do you think? Let's play it to make sure we have it right. I didn't do it. Here we go. Yeah, there are a couple of little subtle things I'm not sure if I want to do. Like at the end we go, but right here, I've been holding the C and just going 1, 2, 3, 4, but something about me wants to go, go pentatonic. And then we go. Again, we go. I don't know. What do y'all think? That's probably too much. All right, are you good on that, Vance? I think we've got it. Man, I'm overtime. How did this happen? We have 14 people watching. Anthony, great questions. I'm glad you like the diminished run. I am going to write this out for my Chord Academy. I'm going to write this out for our YouTube member channel. Thank you so much. And as always, I want to tell you guys, thanks for everything, and we're going to tell each other goodbye. Now's your time to ask any questions really quickly. You have like 30 seconds, and we're going to say bye like we always do. Very thankful for my All Academy members, All Access Academy, my Chord Academy members. Thank you, everyone. I'm looking at all your names. You guys are amazing. And thank you to my newly created YouTube channel. Thank you so much for that. The YouTube member channel. All you have to do is hit join, and you'll see all the craziness that you get for joining. Bill, good to see you first on today. All Access member Vicky, thank you. Dave P, All Access member. Let's see. Dave P, always been. T-Man, Dad is a member of everything. Thank you so much. Memphis, member of the YouTube channel. Go Memphis. Rick is at work, but we have a new blues for Rick. Very excited about that. Doug, good to see you. Thank you for being a member of the YouTube channel. Hugh, good to see you. Hugh's a member of everything. Thank you so much for your support. Anthony, good to see you on the chat. Let's see if anybody else. George, thank you for being a Chord Academy member and a YouTube channel member. You guys are awesome. Awesome. All right. He's gone. Dave's leaving on a plane. He's leaving for the week. All right. So while you guys say bye to each other, I'm going to play Dave's leaving on a plane since he is. He's going golfing for a week. Man, he's our celebrity. We're going to play without, we got to do the right changes though. Let's close out with a little Dave's leaving on a plane. Dave's leaving on a plane. Here we go. Dave's leaving on a plane. It's so much slower on the train. They tried to tell him it's the same, but so much slower on the train. I tried my best to explain, yes I did, that Dave's leaving on a plane. But Dave's leaving on a plane. It's so much slower on the train. They tried to tell Dave it's the same. It's so much slower on the train. I tried my best to explain, yes I did. Dave's leaving on a plane. Let's do a little bit of Rick's song as an improv. Dave's leaving on a plane. It's so much slower on the train. They tried to tell Dave it's the same, but so much slower on the train. I tried my best to explain, yes I did, that Dave's leaving on a plane. All right, Dave, have a good, awesome time on your trip. Wait. I was quiet this morning. Yes, you were, Doug. You were quiet. I hope you get all the birdies you want and maybe an eagle or maybe an ace. See you in the next one, everyone. Yeah, we expect a scorecard. We want to know how many birdies you have. All right, this will be a new song that we put inside all three academies, so just stay tuned. The Rick song. Rick's Blues. Nothing will be as cool as Dave's leaving on a plane. And everybody knows the reason we write all these fun little silly melodies is because, one, all of our people are awesome, just like all of our subscribers as well, is because you have this material and you have everything written out. It shows you how to do the fingerings, and you get these in your head. Like you cannot forget Dave's leaving on a plane, just like you can't forget I've got the low volume blues, and that is just what the news is today. I started out on the live, turning my volume up high. It's still low. I've got the low volume blues, and that is just what the news is today. You get these melodies in your head, and then you use them however you want in any key. Have a great day. That's good, Doug. Yeah, Doug, we got to keep you safe, man. That's really good news. Thanks for the update on that. That's right. Yes, keep the updates coming.